This is Paul Jarchian, and you are listening to The Butthole with a D.
Welcome to the official Butthole Podcast, bringing you everything you need from sports to entertainment. Now, introducing your host, Scott, the Great Brandino, Gage's Rage, and Star Lamar. Oh, who did that?
Motherfucker!
Was that Scott?
Was that a copyrighted sound?
That had to have been.
Hopefully we don't get flagged for that copyrighted boing sound.
Based on the shit we've been getting flagged on, I'm going to get flagged for my heavy breathing this episode. So that's probably copyright by some fat ass.
He can say
cyberbullying.
Named Gage's Rage.
There. We're going to get flagged for cyberbullying and copyright infringements anyways. Let's just fucking get it all out of the way right away.
Wait. The only thing you can make fun of people for is being fat and stupid. So I think we're good.
All right, now we hit all the keys. Brandon, this episode, for the first time in the history of the Butthole Podcast, it took us 178 episodes. But this episode is brought to you by who?
Blue Collar Media Group. We just joined the multimedia conglomerate, Blue Collar Media Group. You should check them out, bluecollarmediagroup.com. They're an awesome site. They have multiple podcasts for you to listen to, both sports betting, sports related. They do streaming. They have articles. They're great. We're happy to be a part of them.
We're on the team.
We hit accept on Saturday. It was Saturday morning. We
Was
hit
it
accept this
like
past week.
Like a request on Facebook, or what do you mean you hit accept?
We hit accept in our hearts.
I should say we.
We
Just because I wasn't involved doesn't mean I'm not
We've been teasing
involved
for a
now.
little bit. We finally put out
Oh, yeah. We officially swiped right.
BCMG on the
The podcast thing.
Yeah, BCMG.
All the platforms.
Blue Collar
I think
Media
they
Group.
would admit, though, we did play like a classy broad. We played hard to get. We hung in there a little while, teased them a little bit.
And now hopefully
Brought
they
us
don't
out
just
to
fuck
dinner.
us and forget us.
But hey,
We're
Doggy
fine with
style.
the first part. Just don't forget us.
yeah.
Just a little doggy.
But don't worry. The butthole's not going to change.
We're still the same.
We are still the same people. Well, except for Gage. Gage is a little different now.
Yeah.
You're missing a key part.
All right, I think this is going to be
His
the most
dick
real
stopped working.
moment of silence we'll have on the show. A moment of silence for what was the mullet militia. All right, that's enough.
I'm
It's
still
never
in
gonna be
awe.
enough.
The true words were never said. It's an adjustment. I've definitely wasted a lot more shampoo in the last 3-4 days than I have in a long time.
I know you guys have a friend that used to jerk off with it in the shower, though, so you can, if you have too much on your hands.
Shit.
Yes, patches.
Yeah.
Well,
That bald bush is a little too long if you can jerk off with shampoo.
that's a whole nother story. I mean, if you're going to do it, don't do it into your hands. And then don't forget that you have it in your hands and put shampoo in and then
He
clean
missed
your
the
hair.
No, he did not.
Oh, he did.
Mixed them.
We'll tell that story on a Butthole After Dark
Yeah, you
episode.
Patches 94.
Yeah.
Because what we're here
Guess
for...
we got a little too dirty right away on our football episode.
That's a before
butthole
light
does, though.
situation. That was a morning routine for a long time. But that's not what you're here for. You're here for the NFL episode, which was off with the Super Wildcard weekend this past weekend. It was awesome.
The first one ever, we had a game on Nickelodeon. I don't think Cordero Patterson will be invited back.
Hopefully the last on Nickelodeon.
It was fun, dude. The slime cannon was cool.
His Twitter, he said on Twitter that it wasn't him.
CPAT?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
He said, what the fuck? That wasn't me.
I actually, unpopular opinion, hated the Nickelodeon broadcast of it.
Oh,
It's
come on.
I think it's great for the kids.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
it gets kids into it, and like I did make a joke yesterday about, though, could create some competitors in the future for us. We don't need these 7-year-olds wising up and starting their podcast at 9. They know what the TikToks is and shit, and then they blow up way before us.
Never
Kinda
hit a
bullshit.
kid.
They don't have the football IQ we do, though.
But they will if Nickelodeon keeps teaching them.
Dog, they were
Now
just
they know what a
excited-
red zone is.
They were excited to see a kick. Okay, that
And the
that
slime
DJ
zone.
gal was like, "Oh, a kick!" She was excited
saw-
every time it was
That
a kick.
man weighs 340 pounds. Oh my God, no way.
What's your favorite ice cream? A lot of chocolates and vanillas out here.
I do think
really
they're
thought we'd
going
get better
to...
She's got to
answers.
be like, what, 15, 16 maybe? Maybe even older than that.
The DJ gal.
Yeah, whoever she was.
She was probably in her 20s.
You think so?
They had to be adults, you know.
So to have to play down to be like, I didn't know there was somebody that weighed that much.
Wow, he kicked it so far. Lady, that was a basic ass punt, okay? That was not a good kick. You don't root for those.
Don't teach these kids that was great. This is why they're the participation generation.
I saw a tweet and it said, if we're trying to get kids into football, why are we making them watch the Bears?
Well, that's the problem. Is now kids are going to think only one team can get first downs.
And all their parents jumped on Twitter afterwards and voted Mitch Trubisky the Nickelodeon valuable player of the game, which makes him probably just pissed because he's like, fuck these kids.
Celebrate his loss of a fucking playoff.
They
team.
voted him the MVP?
The MVP, Nickelodeon valuable player.
For what reason?
Because
He plays like me.
He's the
He got
youngest.
49% of the votes of total. He went landslide win for Mitch Trubisky.
Who was the
I
number
voted
one
for
Saints
him.
player? Cam
Jordan?
Jordan, or was it Alvin Kamara? I can't remember. It was
not
like
sure.
9% for the first Saints player. And
So-
then Nate Burleson's on the broadcast. It's kind of cool that the fans pick someone on the losing team to win an award.
Or not.
Football fans everywhere are just losing their minds.
This is about to be episode 178, the Participation Trophy podcast. We don't want that bullshit up in here.
You know Nate's going into Good Morning Football. He's like, these fucking kids picked a Bears player as the MVP.
The whole time they're teasing someone getting slimed. No one got slimed. It was bullshit.
No, Sean Payton
Payton
did.
did after the game.
He came back out.
Yeah.
He was
they
like,
did the
it was in
interview.
like the tunnel. He got slimed.
They
But
can't slime the players during the game.
Yeah, you can. Why not?
Fuck yeah, they do it. They were showing it all game, man. The slime zones.
so
Do it to Nick Foles.
little
Lord knows he wasn't
transition
going out there.
from the NFL. But have you guys heard of that fan-controlled league that's starting?
Yeah.
I'm
I have.
actually part ownership of it.
Are you?
Yeah, you can buy in on ownership. You're not actually an owner.
They took the Green Bay business strategy there.
No.
No,
It's
Literally, you
Fans.
all vote to pick the play. That
You
was
pick
run
every
next.
single
you
thing.
pick the starting lineup. You pick everything. Money Manziel's in it.
Yes, sir. That's all I heard.
the
me
former
too.
Twins reliever Trevor May, big guy on Twitch, right? He's part owner of a team in it.
I think Bob Bennery, another podcast,
Yeah,
internet
he does the
personality, is a part
voiceover,
owner.
Right?
Richard Sherman's an owner of one of the teams.
Of course he is.
I mean, it's a fun concept, for sure.
Playing Madden in real life.
And you know, if you have any name credibility behind you, you're probably going to play in that league.
Money Manziel, perfect example.
It doesn't matter if you're playing bad, either.
Or what you did. in your
Let's
past.
revert back. You said Madden in real life. I don't want you calling the plays. We know it's just going to go deep to Mecole Hardman.
PA slots, baby, or PA crossers.
That's all you got.
A lot of play actions.
You're going to
not a
have
lot of runs.
Fitzgerald on the side, and he's like, dude, come on.
Running back. What's that?
It's seven guys guarding your one wide receiver, and you're still going to throw to him.
Bombs.
We don't want your Hall of Fame ass out here fucking with Nicole Hardman's game. Get on the bench, bro.
Oh
Is
my-
it full contact?
Fan control football. It's gonna be like what was that league that Vince McMahon started that never got going?
XFL.
Arena football?
It'll be like the XFL, I'm sure, like talent wise, quality wise, but it's gonna be the plays and everything are gonna be completely picked by fans watching.
No. Is it full contact?
Oh yeah,
Tackle?
Football.
no, yeah, no.
pads.
It's gonna be like
But it's 7-on-7, isn't it? I don't.
I think you know more than I do. I just read an article that Johnny Manziel's part of it and who the owners are.
yeah. I think you're right. There is gonna be differences, and I don't even know if they really have all the rules laid out yet. But they're starting to assemble their teams, their jerseys,
What's
the
it called?
logos, fan controlled football. Just Google FCF. But I think you're actually right. I think it is gonna be 7-on-7, but
That's
it's gonna
gonna
be
be
real
exciting.
football. Yeah.
7-on-7 is where you get a lot of scoring.
Yeah. And if they were going to do, I mean, I actually liked the Arena League or the XFL, like the rules for it. I thought they were good rules, different from the NFL.
I like the mix too with Canadian football. A lot
Yeah.
of motion. I like football in general. Give me
Yeah.
all the football.
So I don't know who Destroying is. Maybe
He's a YouTuber
is he?
kicking. He got kicked out of college for following YouTube and not giving up his rights to the NCAA.
Oh, okay.
So they booted him, took his contract and or his scholarship, and then he did YouTube full time.
Okay, so Quavo, Richard Sherman, and Destroying own a team. The Glacier Boys. The Zappers are Bob Menery. Is that it? Bob Menery?
Yeah.
And Trevor May. And then you have The Beast, which is Marshawn Lynch and Miro. Wild Aces, Greg Miller and Austin Eckler.
Greg Miller's a big IGN gaming guy.
Eckler got it on a team?
Apparently, and those are the 4 teams.
So only 4 teams in the league, or they're going to add more as they come?
I think they're starting with only the 4. Then they're going to see how it goes. It's like super bare bones. It's going to fail. All right, I'm just going to be honest.
on.
It's going to fail.
Does it have a better chance of making it than Dwayne The Rock Johnson's XFL?
I would say equal or lesser. Just because Dwayne The Rock Johnson is the head of the XFL, and the dude's loaded. We all know he's
Dwayne
loaded.
doesn't fail in anything. either.
That's my thing. Is it when was the last time he did something where you're like, oh, Dwayne, come on, that's not going to work. He makes shitty movies that make $100 million at the box office.
Yeah, but think about it from his perspective. I'm sure he bought the XFL super, super low.
Oh, yeah.
$15 million.
Yeah. Okay. Was that the number?
Yeah.
Chump change,
It's
right?
foolproof. It either succeeds and you look like a genius, or it goes away and you lose $15 million. He probably high stake gambles that more than that on a night.
He doesn't gamble. No way.
I'm just saying, he probably wastes $15 million on whatever.
He released that tequila, and it's had the best first year of any liquor ever in the history of stuff.
Is it called The Rock? Or?
It's called Sermana.
Oh.
Hey,
I didn't have it.
Rock, hit us up. That's free advertising
We
to
love
our
you.
million of listeners.
We can smell it.
Okay.
And I don't even like the smell of tequila, but I'm guess that smells pretty good.
I don't like the smell. I don't like the taste. I
No,
don't
I'm
like the thought.
smelling what The Rock was cooking. Come on, guys.
Yeah, tequila.
Cooking in his pants. It's a fast-paced, high-scoring, 7-on-7, and you are in control. I don't know. It's a
If it's 7-on-7, you'd think it's flag or something.
It's going to, no, it won't be flag. I'm pretty sure it's going to be contact football.
And it's going to be a smaller field.
Yeah.
You got to imagine.
But, okay, let's get to the reason we're all here. NFL football. Back on the grind. Because
the real reason we're all here.
if you want high-level FCF talk, you came to the right place. But we also talk a little bit of NFL football.
Which is another league
right here,
that exists.
I've got my beer for all of you bitches to hold. Cleveland Browns absolutely stomped out Pittsburgh Steelers, and I was the only one last week trying to convince you dumb fucks to take the Browns side.
No, I think we said we wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland makes it a good game.
I wasn't surprised if anybody was going to win that game. I'm just saying that, for one, you were right. Okay, I will say that.
One more time, please, for the people in the back.
Gage's rage with the hair last week was right. This week, I don't know.
Dirty.
Talking to a different guy. I would say, who won in that Titans and Ravens game?
Yeah,
Not your
he's
team.
got such a short memory that
Hey,
he can only remember
that was Saturday,
what
okay?
he was right about, but not what he was wrong about.
I don't look backwards, I look forwards, all right? And I'm just going to tell you right now, the picks this week are going to be fire.
They are going to be fire. Let's get in. Let's go reverse order. Star had something. Sorry.
I was just going to say maybe we'd give him like 10% influence this week. in
Yeah,
our picks.
we'll turn the dial.
We'll turn the volume up a little bit,
Neither
not
way.
just completely ignore what Gage has to say. I mean, he did get his haircut. It looks a little bit more professional.
Did we go back in the group chat to when Star was like, "Oh, we'll just take Gage's advice on the prop betting too, and we'd be set for life"? Wouldn't we?
I didn't see that.
Or was it you, Brandon?
Sarcasm's hard to read in text, obviously.
Yes.
My heart.
On Gage's prop bets, we would be so close to living large. Like,
I
so
just-
close.
By default, I just assume everything that Star texts is with sarcasm in the group chat. So I'd be like, "Is it at your place tonight, Scott?" Like, is there some double fucking meaning here?
What do you mean by my place?
I don't even care if it's sarcasm. I don't care if it's mean or directed at me. I'm just happy he's responding back.
Well, I'm sorry I work
we're
a job that I can't be on my phone all day. Spoiler alert to everyone else's bosses on this show.
Hey!
Messaging constantly all day.
I'm my own boss, bitch.
I kind of, every 45 to an hour and a half, I take it out and try to pick up, see what they're talking about,
Get yelled
respond to
at.
something that was 35 minutes earlier, and they already have 6 other
75,
conversations since then. I'm
We
like,
just-
do they still want my opinion on it?
We just swipe it under the rug.
I don't
forget
know.
about it.
I wake up at like 3:00 in the afternoon and there's
Well, how about this?
87 messages.
I have an idea here for how we should do this. Being Gage is going to have 10% influence. We'll spin the wheel of games, and Gage will get to pick the first game that we talk about from the weekend.
Oh,
Buffalo.
bankrupt!
Baltimore.
Buffalo and Baltimore.
Who would have thought? That's a good spin for Gage's rage.
Oh, we're looking forward now. I thought we were going to reverse
Yeah.
and talk
sorry.
about
Come on,
games
man.
from the
We haven't
weekend.
even-
Okay, spin the wheel.
I haven't even gotten
what is
over
it?
my talking
All right.
points. I have a sheet of paper. $600 for Gage.
It's the Baltimore-Tennessee game.
Oh, the first one, the one you got wrong.
Yeah, and I didn't
Get it
watch
out of the
all of it
way.
either, so I probably shouldn't do this one.
That was the noon game on Sunday.
It was Sunday or Saturday?
Sunday.
It was Sunday.
And it kicked off the Sunday's football. It was the best game Sunday. And
The
it was by far the best game Sunday.
Cleveland
As far
was
as
pretty good.
competitive,
Yeah. As far as if you're just a fan trying to watch a good game, that was the game to watch.
What was the final score of that one?
20
20
to 13.
Yep.
20-13. And A.J. Brown was kind of having a good game. This is what I'm saying. I kind of woke up at like 1:30, 2 o'clock, so I missed the first half.
Sounds rough, Gage. Sounds real rough.
Let's just get the big question out of the way. There's two big questions out of this game. Lamar Jackson. Is it possible to be, I don't want to say an elite quarterback, but is it ever possible to be an elite quarterback in the NFL when you only complete
I believe it was like, what?
67% of your passes, don't throw a touchdown, and don't throw for less than 200 yards in the playoffs? Is it possible to win a Super Bowl when that's your type of stat line, passing the football in the playoffs?
If you're running 136 and one touchdown on the ground with an 8.5 average, it's possible,
8.5 for his average. That's just insane.
He has a good defense,
which helps.
so that quarterback on any team is not going to make them a competitor. But I think this year on that team, he doesn't always throw for that many yards. He had a bad game, and the game plan was
As in he throws more, or he doesn't
throws
always
way
throw for
less.
at least 179.
he's had good games recently.
He has.
Yeah.
Hollywood Brown was the
180.
only guy that was really doing anything through the air yesterday,
Yes.
and the Tennessee Titans have a good defense.
If I were to word it to you this way, a healthy Lamar Jackson in the playoffs is as big a threat as any quarterback in the league, in my opinion. Come playoff time, if his legs are healthy and he can run, he's as big a threat as any quarterback in the league, in my opinion.
I wouldn't go there.
I would totally disagree with you
Okay.
as well.
I'm saying he could win any game, but I'm not afraid of him on the same level I would be a Rodgers, a Mahomes, those guys who can throw for 450 on you. Because if they get down, that's all she wrote. They need to be competitive at the beginning of those games because he's not bringing them back like the Steelers almost did, like the Packers and Chiefs are capable of, and even the Bills that throw in there because their offense is through the air basically now too. They lost their run game.
That's the old adage, though, of you don't build a team to come from behind. Nobody builds a team thinking, oh, once they get me down 2 touchdowns, now my team's built for that, right?
But teams have the guys who can do that, right?
Exactly.
You know, Rodgers, Mahomes, even Josh Allen, maybe. We'll see.
I would
Josh
think
Allen paired with Steph Diggs is
It's a
deadly
dirty combo. It is.
I just
they
think-
had the highest passer rating between two guys, you know, going back and forth.
QB
Yeah.
and wide out.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
the-
think, yeah,
sorry.
Lamar can do it. He obviously can throw for more, but his game script is not to play from behind and to have to come back from being down 2 scores. Even 10 points is tough.
Very similar to Cleveland, I'd say. They're a run-first team that has a strong defense that can keep you in the game. If your offense can stay up and you can run the ball and control the clock, you have a good chance to win.
On the flip side, Derrick Henry.
They couldn't
Derrick
get him
Henry,
going.
what did he rush for, 46 yards?
I have no idea. It was a terrible average. He had
40.
his 20 attempts, right?
18 for 40, 2.2 average.
Yeah. They
Is,
had his number.
was it just Baltimore? It looked like to me Baltimore was just selling out to stop Derrick Henry, and it worked.
Well, let's be honest. If Tennessee could have stopped Lamar Jackson, it would have been a whole different game. I mean, they let up 136 on the ground to him.
They stopped him for 3 quarters or 2.5. They stopped
They let
him
up
for
like
damn near
3 big plays.
Yeah,
One of
he
them was
had-
that 50-yard touchdown. They had another late run to get a first down at the end of the
To
fourth
close
quarter.
the game too. Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah. I mean, they stopped those. It's a different game. I mean, you look at his stat line. He was, I believe it was like, what did I say, 17 reception, 17 completions, 179 yards, 1 pick, no touchdowns. Ryan Tannehill, 18 completions, completions for Lamar as well. 165 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. They had damn near an identical stat line outside of the 1 passing touchdown for Tannehill.
Yeah,
He didn't get it down on the ground, but
exactly. And Tannehill is not a slouch to run the ball either, but he's not a Lamar Jackson.
no. And Corey
Because-
Davis went down in the game, which hurt them. He's throwing that last interception, or the only interception came to, it was going to what, Khalif Raymond,
Which
I think. He
that
slipped.
play, my fuck. A.J. Brown was wide open on a go route on the opposite side of the field.
He was staring down Khalif Raymond, and he slipped, couldn't make the play. They picked it off, and yeah, A.J. Brown had 3 steps on the guy on the left side of the field.
I just think in that situation, you go to the guy that's been there all game. A.J. Brown was a stud the entire game. Unless he's triple covered, you throw him the football.
You got to get the ball to your playmakers.
Yeah.
My last comment on Lamar before I'm ready to move on is if you're looking at his weapons on offense, J.K. Dobbins is coming into his own now. Gus Edwards has been able to run the ball as well, but his number one wide receiver is Hollywood Brown. He's not a number one wide receiver.
Yeah, he needs more weapons.
So to judge him based on his passing when his best target is Mark Andrews and sometimes Hollywood Brown if he can hold on to the ball, I don't think it's completely fair, but that's what he's got to work with right now.
I agree.
I gotta say, too, with their defense, Baltimore's defense, you're able to sell out for the run when you have Marcus Peters, Marlon Humphrey, Jimmy Smith, and their safeties.
When you have that secondary.
Yeah, so they are built to beat a running team because they can leave their guys on islands and not worry about it. Marcus Peters got that pick to seal the game.
Well,
you look at who they're playing, too. They're playing Pittsburgh twice a year. They're playing Cleveland twice a year. They built that team to play against that style teams.
Mm-hmm.
They practice against Lamar Jackson every week. It's a good defense, for sure.
Were you upset with how the Ravens celebrated on the 50-yard line?
I saw that. That did kind of piss me off. I'll be real. It's just disrespectful, man.
They're a bunch of chumps. They really are. The Ravens are a bunch of chumps.
And the whole stuff with the regular season game with fucking dumbass Harbaugh going off after Vrabel before the game started, play football, and then his team's doing that shit.
That they were responding to something that the Titans did. The Titans did that. No, week 11 this year.
Week 11 this year, okay.
Yeah.
What did they do?
They went and celebrated on the Ravens logo.
This was before the game. Before the game, Vrabel and Harbaugh
Juju dancing was before the game.
Yeah, exactly.
But is it still disrespectful?
There was not. The Tennessee Titans didn't celebrate on the Baltimore Ravens logo.
I'm pretty sure they did.
We might be able to have video of stuff like this in the future. Who knows? But I can pull something up to show Gage.
All right, we'll move to the next one.
Let's start looking for a little vindication.
Vindication not accepted.
Denied.
Okay, next, the next game for the weekend, we're going to spin the wheel of topics, and we're going to let Brandon pick.
It goes from hummingbird to
whatever the hell that was.
Where are we?
Yeah, I'm put on the spot. I don't even remember the other games that were going on this weekend.
No other of the 5 other games does Brandon remember.
I want to talk about Tampa Bay and the Washington football team.
There we go.
Tom Brady went in there. He had himself a pretty good game, actually. I think he threw for, I'm going to pull it up. He had 2 touchdowns. They moved the ball on the football defense. He got sacked a handful of times, but not as many times as we were expecting. They end up edging it out 31-23, and maybe a closer game than they wanted it to be. But to be honest, the football team, they're not a joke. Like, they've played bad, sure, but they have a really good defense. And with a decent offense, I think they could get the job done. I think they'll be back next year.
They need to figure out quarterback. The football team does.
Yeah, absolutely. But Heineke played well. I mean, not great. Stat-wise, he was 26 for 44, 306 yards, and a touchdown, 1 pick. Also another 46 on the ground and a score. I mean, he played well enough to keep them in that game. And the dude, he was slinging it. He wasn't afraid to go out there, throw the ball. He took a couple big hits towards the end of the game and was playing a little banged up. I like the tenacity of it.
Oh, there's copyright.
Yeah, so Tampa Bay, 381 yards, 2 touchdowns. Fournette had 93 on the ground. Rojo was hurt. And they kind of diced it up to just about everybody. Evans had 6 grabs. Braid had 4. Godwin had 5. Brown had 2 in the touchdown. Scotty Miller had 1. Fournette had 4. Nothing for Tyler Johnson.
I just
Johnson
feel
didn't have a good.
I think that honestly, I'm going to go on a limb here and say if there's one team left in the playoffs that could ruin Green Bay's Super Bowl hopes, it's Tampa Bay. I don't think the Saints can, but I think Tampa Bay can.
I think the Rams might.
It depends with Goff, quite frankly. If Goff has another week and he gets a little more healthy and his throwing hand's a little bit better, because it was pretty bad against Seattle. Seattle's epic meltdown.
Is Goff the best quarterback on that team?
That's a good question. Wolford looked good before he went out and went to the hospital. I don't know.
Injured, he's not.
I don't think McVay is necessarily all in on Goff, quite honestly. I think McVay, if he found a better option somewhere, he'd go for it. John Wolford is more McVay's style of quarterback because he can roll out and
Are we
actually
talking
move a little.
Rams Seahawks, Scott.
Sorry. Getting sidetracked here. So
That's what we do.
Heineke looked great. A lot of people in Minnesota think if he never would have put his foot through that door back, 5-6 years ago,
2014. Who knows?
he would have got the start in that preseason game. He would have had the game that he just had in the playoffs in that preseason game. Vikings would have kept him, and he'd be a Viking currently.
And we
I
beat
quite
the
honestly
Eagles.
don't really care because
I mean-
Heineke played cute, but he's never going to be a starter in the league.
He was signed to Washington's practice squad December 8th. His first NFL action prior to that was 2018. He's been out of the league for 2 years, not even on the team for a month, and he's starting a playoff game. Pretty remarkable what he did.
For sure. And never mind, you kind of gave him props there. I was about to say, why are we ripping this guy when Alex Smith does that and he gets fucking patted on the back like he's a superstar?
Well, Alex Smith would never do what Heineke did. Heineke was very
Exactly.
mobile. Like,
Well, no. I meant like not playing for 3 years and then coming back and playing.
Alex Smith didn't play like shit, though.
But there's a difference.
Heineke
in
didn't play like
Smith and
shit.
Heineke.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is Alex Smith had a potentially career-ending injury.
Life-threatening injury.
Yeah. And then he came back at the age of 38, might I
Dude
mind
was
you?
almost working at IHOP. He was like seconds away.
He could definitely sling some burgers at Mickey D's.
I bet you he could. I bet you he makes a mean burger.
Oh, International House of Burgers, actually. That's why he's going to IHOP.
IHOP.
But nonetheless, the Washington football team lost. Tampa Bay moves on. Tampa Bay now plays the Saints this upcoming weekend for the trifecta. They've been gotten stomped out by the Saints 2 times this year.
It's going to be a good
Is
game.
the third time
They
going to be
will.
the charm?
That might be my game I'm most looking forward to.
I
Without
think
a
so.
doubt.
And did you guys notice? I know we're kind of going back and reviewing.
That's fine.
The NFC is the old dogs this year. Take Goff out of the picture. You got Rodgers, Brady, and Breeze. AFC, you got Baker, you got Lamar, you got Josh Allen, Mahomes. Those are the up and coming kids. Is this a changing of the guard, do you think, for the future?
I do.
AFC's just going to tear it up.
Yeah. And take a guess. Collective age. Scott might know.
I know. I'm not gonna say.
Collective age of the AFC. Like, average.
Cumulative? Or,
Average,
Okay,
sorry.
average of the AFC, 24 and a half.
25 3/4.
24 and a half. Gage saw the tweet.
Dang it.
No, I literally did not
And
see
then the
tweet.
collective age of the NFC.
Ooh, 30.
Uh,
30. Ooh. See, I know averages. I'm smart. I got math up here. 37.
I don't think it's going to be 37
37.
for the average age of a team.
Heard me.
Of the NFC. The NFC quarterbacks.
Oh, quarterbacks?
The quarterbacks left in the NFC.
Just the quarterbacks.
You never
And
said
AFC,
anything.
NFC.
I was like, there's no way that the average age of an NFC player is 37 years old. Get the fuck out of here, Gage.
NFC quarterbacks left.
No, the
You
NFC
didn't
quarterback.
clarify this.
Sorry.
That's Brandon's fault. I didn't.
I'm really good at, like, just... You should know what things...
Omitting
Words
things?
matter.
Yeah, words
Because I
matter.
even thought 24 was way young. I was like, they are like 1, 2, and 3 year players for the entire AFC. Jesus Christ.
Stars getting so like, what the fuck? So confused.
So you got Brady, you got Rodgers.
That's 2 of them.
I'm gonna say 38 years old.
36 and 3/4.
Oh, fuck. I was so close.
I was gonna play intermission music there while Star was thinking because it took a while, but then we get hit with another copyright.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Don't even like hum it.
Yeah,
All right.
that's why I'm manually spinning the wheel of topics.
I'm going to spin the wheel.
All right.
Let's go Bears Saints.
There we go. Bears Saints.
The only game I watched in its entirety.
And the game that was on Nickelodeon for all the kiddos to watch.
We kind of touched on that. I think it was really good for the kids, right?
The slime cannon was sick.
I don't know if I definitely couldn't watch every game on Nickelodeon, but I could watch one.
Would you give them one game a year on Nickelodeon?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
They should get one game a year.
Who do you choose? Joe Buck and Troy Aikman or Nate Burleson and DJ whatever her name was?
Depends who's playing.
DJ
In that
Tanner.
game, give me Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
Really?
Yeah, if the Packers are playing, nope, I'll watch Nickelodeon.
Yeah, it depends on who they're commentating.
Yeah.
I suppose if you have Brady or Rodgers going up, yeah, I don't want to hear anything about those two.
Oh, and this just in. 24 hours later, Chris Collinsworth still thinks that the Pittsburgh Steelers has a chance to come back against the Cleveland Browns.
How ridiculous. Getting off track. What? It was like 28-7, and they're like, they're in this game. This is not over.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't wrong, but it's still ridiculous.
What you need to be talking about in that is what Pittsburgh needs to start doing to try and get back in the game. Not be adamant that they're still in the game.
Don't turn the ball over. Don't give a pick six.
Maybe, get a first down. All right, back to the seriousness
back to this
of the game.
I think that one was over before it started. If you were the Bears, I know Trubisky had much better record as a starter this year, but would you have put $9 footlong in there instead?
Yes.
Just knowing how he is in the playoffs?
Especially if I would have had Trubisky on such a short leash that after that first quarter, Foles would have been in.
Yeah, I think so.
There's no second game here. It's the playoffs.
Yeah.
You go for wins.
And quite honestly, it might be Nagy's job. There's a chance Nagy might get fired.
I was just going to say that. I think Nagy and Trubisky are both looking for new jobs next year.
Not Ryan Pace?
If you were the Bears,
I
would
think
you
Pace
fire
is too.
Nagy tomorrow and try and court Doug Peterson? Or are you trying to go with some young guy?
I don't have any interest in Peterson.
Okay.
Are they
I'm
the
just curious.
same tree?
Yeah, the Kansas City tree. The Andy Reid tree.
Andy Reid tree?
Yeah.
What a nice tree to be a part of.
I'm sure there's a lot of burgers.
It's a very big tree.
Why do you think Alex Smith is going to be flipping burgers? He's at IHOP now, baby.
Serving up
Andy
Reid.
I don't have much to say regarding this game besides the Bears are awful and the Saints
Breeze is
didn't
done.
show me anything. Yeah, if the Bears offense would have done anything at all, it would have been a game.
If Green Bay beats the Rams, which odds are they do, and the Saints beat the Bucks, which I would say isn't as likely, I think the Bucks have a good chance at winning this one. The Packers are going to end up going to the Super Bowl because I don't think Drew Brees has got what it takes.
What convinced you Breeze can beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I don't think he does. I'm saying if he does.
I mean, he did do it this year.
Okay,
Twice.
but the story,
Or
both
once.
of those
Twice,
games,
both
though,
times.
the story,
started both times?
they crushed them both times. Breeze
I
was
think
the starter
Breeze
both
was
games.
the starter both times.
The thing is, though, if both the games the Saints beat the Bucks in early in the year the story was the Saints defense. The Saints defense was stifling against Tampa Bay, and it was early in the year when the Bucks were trying to get everything going. This is a different Bucks team.
Yeah, without a doubt.
They got more camaraderie, they got more chemistry, they know more of what they are and who they are. It's going to be a good football game. I just don't know if the Bucks got enough to beat the Saints. The Saints defense is good.
I take this football team's defense over the Saints, though.
Well, right, but the football team is a top 5 defense.
Exactly. So they just got whomped by Tampa Bay. Week 2, Saints are going to do the same, man.
Okay, we'll see. I would honestly bet Tampa Bay. If you want to bet, I'll bet Tampa.
We have that other bet. I guess I could talk about Buffalo now, eh?
Yeah, there's not much to that.
We got to spin the wheel of topics, dude.
The Saints,
Here,
Saints
I'll
won, 21-9? Ding, ding, ding. Daily double. Gage's Rage.
Gage's Rage on the Daily Double.
Buffalo
So you want to talk
Bills
Buffalo and...
Absolutely stomped. What did they have? Over 40 points?
And that's all the time we have on tonight's podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in.
I love Buffalo. I love Josh Allen. I love him to keep going.
That so I didn't watch a minute of that game, but I was watching it on my phone, and that one actually seemed close.
It was a close
started
game.
off, yeah, it was rough
Wasn't
for
it?
Buffalo.
Didn't it end a 3-point game?
Yeah.
Was it
Indianapolis
garbage?
Came back.
It wasn't garbage. It was close, and it was it
It was the prevent defense
was a
stuff.
failed Hail Mary away from...
If Phillip Rivers ends up walking away from football, it's a perfect way for him to end his career.
He had a very good game, actually.
Right, but
Yeah.
day late and a dollar short, and that's been his career. He always has good games, but he's always just comes up a little bit short.
Yeah, and you're saying it's a good game. Statistics look great, but what are his air yards per pass attempt?
I'll tell you this. That
Not-
Indianapolis Colts roster is better than Buffalo's. If you get Indy a quarterback at all, they would have beat Buffalo.
If Josh Allen's on that team, for sure.
Well,
I agree.
you don't even need a Josh Allen. I think if you had a Tannehill. Dude, that Indianapolis team, if Carson Wentz goes there, it's going to be scary.
Rivers is bad. He's been bad for the last 4 years.
I don't personally feel like he is bad. He didn't play bad.
27 for 46, so I don't know what that...
Not great.
What is that, like 60%?
Which
maybe?
isn't good. Yeah.
309 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. I believe he had the highest QBR out of any quarterback this weekend.
He did not play bad, but
What I'm trying to say is he was throwing high success plays. He had a screen, got ripped off for a huge gain.
what was his
Which
average
was a
yards per
touchdown.
completion? What was his YPC? Do you have that?
Or air yards per completion? That's what I
I'd
wanna
have to
see.
look up air yards, but average yards per completion is 11.4.
That's not easy passes, assuming that
Well,
which you
Yeah,
can't
yards
assume.
after catch in the game. They're
A little
see
bit
if
of
I can
yak.
find that.
I just know that Rivers was dealing. It took him a little bit to get warmed up, but he was dealing.
They came out hot. For Taylor looked amazing
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. I think it's one thing that's fair to say, though, and this is a point I was telling Gage before the podcast started. Buffalo scares me a little bit because I don't think they can control the game at all with the run. I don't think they'll be able to protect the lead against a good team like Kansas City.
So now that we're in the second week, both Kansas City and Buffalo play this week. Would you like to jump on my bet?
Yeah, I will, because Baltimore's
Buffalo?
going to beat Buffalo.
So you want to put 50 on it then?
I'll put 50 on Kansas City goes farther.
Then Buffalo. I have
Then
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
You
And
have Kansas City.
You remember the stipulation he
No,
put
there's
in
no
last week?
stipulation. We both lose this week.
There's no
bet.
Saturday to
Yes,
Sunday.
$50.
Josh Allen plays first now. That bet's no good.
$50. Kansas City goes further than
I
Buffalo.
hope this goes to the championship game because I could see it happening.
I'm okay with it. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, from a football perspective, Buffalo versus Kansas City would be the most fun game to watch in the AFC title game. But I think Baltimore is going to give Buffalo some fits.
That's fair.
Because you got really chippy cornerbacks on the outside for Baltimore, and quite honestly, they can rotate them out. They don't need Marcus Peters to lock in on Stephon Diggs the entire game. They're going to get in Diggs' head. Diggs has an issue with that at times. It's going to be chippy. You know it is. It's Baltimore and Buffalo.
If
it's going to
Diggs
be a
hits
good game.
that first quarter bomb, though,
Oh,
Diggs
yeah.
could equally just get in their heads.
No, I know.
And it could be a route fest.
I know. I'm just saying Diggs is susceptible to falling into the games corners like to play, and Baltimore does it as well as anybody.
Baltimore's the assault. It'll be a fun matchup.
He's out.
That's perfect for us, eh?
No, well, yeah, I suppose. Sorry, back to the podcast.
National championship is live right now, so we're.
But other than that, regarding that game, Buffalo, Josh Allen, I kind of think that Gage's point regarding MVP talks, why not Josh Allen, makes some sense in the sense that Josh Allen might be the most valuable player in football. He is their running game and their passing game.
he scored 2 rushing
So
touchdowns.
Mahomes might be the best quarterback in the NFL, or whoever you want to say.
No
But
one's
Josh Allen is
arguing
probably the most valuable.
to his team at this year,
Yeah.
without a doubt. You can't argue it otherwise.
Allen's been Buffalo's running and passing game, and that's pretty valuable on an offense that scores the second most points in the league,
Yeah,
only behind
over 30.
Tennessee.
Yeah, they were.
He ended up
clobbering.
having more rushing yards than all of his running backs combined.
And he,
Right.
he finished with 2 rushing touchdowns. So.
Yeah. So I think that's Gage's point about Josh Allen, I think, is fair. And honestly, he's been fun to watch. He's been locked in the whole year, and Buffalo's a good team. I like them.
I'm sorry, what was that, Scott?
Buffalo's a good team.
Deny. No.
So we had 2 seeds, 5 seeds, and 6 seeds move on across the AFC and the NFC. So seeding wise, there was 2 upsets on each side of the AFC and NFC. Who has the best chance of doing that upset this week?
I still think it's Baltimore. I think Baltimore's the best team left of those lower seeds. I think the other one would be Tampa.
Tampa for sure is in my wheelhouse, and I think Cleveland.
Let me ask you this, Gage. How would you feel about Baltimore if they were playing Kansas City? If they weren't playing your team, the Buffalo Bills, how would you feel about them? Would you still feel about the same?
Against Kansas City, I'm a non-believer in Kansas City more than a non-believer in Baltimore.
So you think Baltimore
so I would
would
take
have
Baltimore
a shot
over
yeah.
Kansas City.
So me thinking Baltimore's got a real shot against Buffalo isn't super crazy.
No. And when I'm making this bet, it's not like I'm a fucking spending the $50 already. You know, this will be a fight. It'll be a dog-eat-dog situation.
Honestly, I see a situation with the way Cam Akers is running. I could see the Rams going into Green Bay and giving a game to the Packers.
Let's go.
I'm cheering for the Rams. I'll be cheering for them because
you're welcome in my
Cam
butthole
Akers is looking like
anytime you agree with me.
Cam Akers is looking like an absolute stud. He ran really good against Seattle, good run defense, and that's what Green Bay is susceptible to. If you can go into Green Bay, play good defense, run the football, you got a chance. I just don't know if Goff will be able to get enough through the air to keep up with Green Bay.
That's the scary thing. And then if Aaron Donald can play at 80%. He's not going to be 100%.
Is he banged up?
He's got torn cartilage in his ribs.
He was
Wilson
absolutely fucking people up.
Wilson landed on his ribs. Like when he tackled him, he rolled him over.
Oh,
and
he
landed
sat right on him.
Does he have ribs, though?
He took out the bottom two.
I thought it was just like pure muscle. Like his
Just
entire
all
body
the way
was just
around?
made of 100% muscle. There's no bones or cartilage in there.
Yeah, his rib muscle cartilage is torn.
He's
Wanna
got
see
he's got
Stars
22
search
ribs.
history?
Yeah.
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Donald shirtless.
I'll send you it.
Aaron
Solid
Donald
pick.
jacked.
All right, please do.
And his traps look like he's wearing headphones.
I'm interested in checking it out. I'll see it. I'll look at it.
I'll rate the abs.
We know you will. We know you will.
So, is there any which
yeah.
game are we missing here?
I think Cleveland and Kansas City. The only way Cleveland has a shot is if Kansas City does what Pittsburgh did. If they come out and are flat right away, Cleveland gets ahead early. It could be a good game, but Cleveland's not going to come back from behind on Kansas City.
They won't be able to do it. And honestly, so we missed 2 games. Seattle laid a complete dud.
Dems hold up.
Russell Wilson had arguably the worst game of his career.
Yep.
He had like 11 total
6 to
completions
midnight.
out of 27 attempts, something like that.
And
40
Pete Carroll after the game said the biggest thing they need to figure out is their running game so they can run the football more. Seattle went away from what was working for them early in the year, towards the end of the year, and that was passing game and letting Russ be Russ. It was letting him let him be unlimited.
They limited his ass.
Well, you can be unlimited when your running backs can actually run the ball.
Right.
They were
He's-
struggling all year with health of their backs.
Only won 1 playoff game since he started dating Ciara too. So I don't know if there's a connection there. He had his original wife, who he got drafted with, had a Super Bowl win.
Upgrade.
I think like 5-1.
Fucking
Then he
Golden
goes
Tate.
to Ciara, and I mean now
Racing Futures boy.
I
as
did
his
see a
own-
post
as
says
his
at least he gets to go to Grammys, but he's not winning.
You know, as a
they did not
devout
say that.
Sky Yuma row the boat, go Gophers fan, I'm perfectly okay seeing Russell Wilson struggle in the NFL a little bit. I don't particularly love the guy at all. I think he's kind of just a bitch, quite frankly.
That's online bullying. Stop.
He's lying.
So
You
to
love
watch him
Russ.
fail in the playoffs, I don't care at all.
Didn't you trade for Russ this year in our friends league?
No, I
No,
wanted to.
he
I
got
ended up
Mahomes.
settling for Mahomes.
Settling.
So,
Fleeced him.
Don't give me that shit.
I honestly, like, I'm
you know you were
fine.
going to take him in our pick 'em bet because he was from Wisconsin.
But
So that game was ugly, right?
and then the other game that we skipped over was
Cleveland, Pittsburgh.
the Cleveland-Pittsburgh game, which, no, we touched on that early.
Did we?
I thought we
It's
touched on
something
that.
from Saturday.
We were talking about that before we started spinning the wheel of topics.
It was the Bills and the
I
Colts.
did, yep.
And then we talked about
We talked
We
about
just
Collinsworth and him telling us Pittsburgh still had a chance in the game and the 4th down play where they punted and lost momentum. We touched on it.
Yeah,
That's all that needs to be said.
okay, whatever.
Oh, really quick. Is Kevin Stefanski the one that got away?
No.
No.
He didn't
I
coach
think
this
Mike
game.
Prefer is.
Has Kevin Stefanski officially changed the culture in Cleveland?
No.
It's the old adage of, you've completely changed the culture when dad's gone for the weekend and the kids don't burn the house down.
You
right?
listened to
Listen to Colin Coward.
today.
But not only that, but dad was gone for the weekend and the kids didn't only not burn the house down, but they did the laundry and the dishes and they kept the house clean.
You really
Cleveland looked like
listened
a
to
real
Colin Coward
football
today.
team. They looked like a real football team through the whole game. They got the lead early. They made the look. They haven't been there for 17 years in that position, right? They looked like they'd been there before.
Not really.
And none of those guys had been there before.
All right, let's. I want to hear your top 3 remaining coaches in the playoffs.
Top 3 remaining coaches. This is Andy Reid.
Of course, I was here.
Bill Belichick.
Fuck Andy Reid.
No, Andy Reid is one of the top coaches left in the playoffs. This was directed
Andy
at me,
Reid can
Gage.
suck my dick.
It's an open question.
Sean Payton. Sean McVay.
LaFleur doesn't make it.
Fuck no. What has he proven?
You pick McVay over LaFleur.
McVay's been to the
I would-
Super
I
Bowl.
would
Absolutely.
also make that pick.
Is
But
there
hey,
any that you-
10%? Yeah, you got a kind of a point, but I think I'd lean.
But it's not enough of a
McVay.
point. Does anybody disagree with that 3? Besides your despisement for Sean
Can
Payton.
anyone else name the other 8 or 5 coaches?
I can name them all.
McDermott, yeah.
McDermott, Harbaugh, Stefanski, or Prefer.
McGriddles.
Andy Reid, boom, AFC settled. McVay, LaFleur,
Payton.
Arians, and Sean Payton.
Arians doesn't make your list.
No.
Fuck no.
Who's your list?
I guess I would start with who
Where's
I think
the
is going to
wrong
make
button?
it.
Hold on.
Arians and McCray.
No, dude.
McCready.
Listen, Gage. Started and ask who do you think,
Something's
which
wrong with
coaches...
you. Really?
Started and asked which coaches do you think have the best chance of winning the Super Bowl this year. He asked who are the best coaches left in the playoffs. They don't have to be mutually inclusive. They can be
Okay.
separated.
So Buffalo's coach.
McDermott, you think he's the best coach left in the playoffs?
I like him a lot. Yep.
Better than Hall of Fame Andy Reid. Better than Hall of Fame Sean Payton.
Take the HOF out of your fucking mouth.
I'm just saying. they're
Andy
both.
Reid ain't HOF.
Yes,
gonna
he
be.
is. Absolutely he is.
Sean Payton, you'll be HOF.
I'll disagree with
He
that.
might be the one I'd.
You
If
disagree
you
with?
would take away Peyton's fucking Bountygate year where he doesn't win a Super Bowl,
Yeah,
he hasn't done shit.
I might swap Harbaugh.
He
for
hasn't done
Peyton.
shit. Gage goes.
He's lost a bunch of fucking heartbreakers to Minnesota.
He's been there though,
Playoff loses.
but he's been there.
Big losses. They're still big games.
So you go take McDermott over Sean Payton. That's great to know. We're gonna have this is episode 178. Butthole's top coaches left versus Gage's.
McDermott, Arians, and LaFleur.
Jesus, the wrong three. The lowest three to pick. Star, who are yours?
Peyton's got 224 wins. Oh, no, sorry, 224 games. 143 wins, 81 losses.
So the dude wins.
So that's win percentage. Let's just do win percentage, and it is a team game. And he's had Breeze that entire time. It's not something that you can. Oh, Aaron Donald picture just popped up again.
6 to midnight.
So great. So let's do the math. What is win percentage? Or did that do it for you?
0.6 something.
Hold on.
140 out of
Is it PE? How do you
no
spell
120 out of 240.
How many wins does he have?
I can't put LaFleur just because this is only
too
his second
new?
season. Yeah,
fair.
that's why.
638.
What's Harbaugh's career?
638's HOF, dude. Anything over 60 as a head coach, if you've coached a long time, you're HOF.
John Harbaugh is 129 games, 129 wins, 79 losses, 620.
620.
Yep.
That's HOF, man. When you've done it that long at that high of a level, it's HOF.
He's got, looks like one less season than him, roughly.
Sean Payton does have a lot of coaching left, though, after Breeze is done. He's going to have a lot of coaching left. He's not that old. Was he early 60s?
Fuck him.
Okay.
Not like.
Let's get
not
back to
like
our-
that,
Literally.
Brandon.
Oh.
Yeah, God, now we're going to get cyberbullying again.
Sexual harassment.
Sexual harassment.
Andy
Fucking
Reid.
A. How am I going to appeal that? Because I know what you meant.
Andy Reid is 629. He's 6th all time
Of wins. Because he's been doing it the longest.
He's HOF.
He's got 22 years.
I'd argue that LaFleur probably has the best winning percentage of all of them. But that's because he has 2 years.
I think he does. He probably has like a 70-some percent.
How about 813?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
absurd.
26
HOF.
wins, 6 losses.
But it's,
HOF.
It's,
And he's clearly the best coach left. So
I think
y'all
you
can get
probably
dick.
didn't hear the part where I said when you've done it that long and been that good, Gage. All right. Star Lamar, top 3.
I would go Andy Reid, Harbaugh, and he's got the record to be there, but I think I'd rather have McVay because I think he does it with less.
Are we going left? Coaches left?
Of
Yes.
coaches left in the playoffs. Who would like if I'm going to bring one into my team, or if I'm starting a franchise, which coach would I want on it? Doom, doom,
Oh, am I going? Am I up?
Ba-doom.
We thought
Yeah,
you were
we-
thinking. You had that thinking face
Boom.
going.
Ba-doom.
No, it's
He was
just
just
my-
hoping it wasn't his turn because he's not good when he gets put on the spot.
Don't
like
do
this.
it. I would take Andy Reid. I would take Sean McVay, and I'd probably take John Harbaugh as well. Fuck Sean Payton.
That's fair. I mean, I think there's a real argument to be made between Harbaugh and Payton. There is. The only difference is Payton's done it longer, but he's also done it with an HOF quarterback. Harbaugh has never done it with an HOF quarterback.
So do we all say that Stefanski is probably the worst coach left?
He's just the most unproven. I'm not going to say any of these are bad
Yeah,
coaches.
I suppose.
He's just the most
Unproven.
unproven. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck LaFleur too.
So that's where that's at. Looking forward to the weekend. Games you guys are most excited about. Star, which one are you going to make sure is not miss TV?
I'm watching everyone this weekend.
You'll be home for everyone. You won't be fishing.
I got kidnapped and went on a little boys' weekend.
What?
Hey, it was like we ate pizza and shit. Stop putting words in my mouth.
You said it. You said you went on a little.
That
boys'
makes it even
weekend.
worse.
It was a pizza party.
Was there hot dogs?
So I'm gonna watch all the games. I think the Bills, Ravens, as well as the Bucks, Saints are games I'm most looking forward because I think they're gonna be super competitive. I can see Kansas City walking. They might not. They have played some bad football at the end of the year. And I can also see the Packers putting McVay on a leash.
Yeah, I'm going to watch all the games as well. I'd say most exciting is probably going to be that Tampa Saints game. It's Drew Brees' last run at it. If he loses, it's over. They're done.
Isn't that
He's
weird?
done.
You're talking about a 4-year-old Tom Brady, and it's Drew Brees' last run at it?
Well, at least Brady can throw the ball downfield.
I know.
I mean,
Brady's
it is.
in physically better shape. He is.
Yeah.
Avocado ice cream.
I've watched Drew Brees. I thought last year he was starting to lose it, but he still had something left in the tank. It was gone. Like, it all dwindled in the offseason or something because it's ugly. It's hard to watch, actually, because you watched him be so dominant for so many years, and now it's just sad.
Yeah, but I always knew that Drew Brees never had the strongest arm. So he didn't have much to lose from that perspective. He couldn't lose much and still be functional. And his arm now is pretty much gone.
Oh, yeah. It's ducks. That's all it is now.
He still obviously knows how to read a defense and throw the ball with timing. Like, there's all of that. But you shrink down the windows and stuff on him and get pressure, it's over.
Yeah. Which is what Tampa needs to do to win.
Yep.
So I'm excited for that. The Browns-Chiefs game is going to be a fun one to watch, too. I don't think the Browns really stand as much of a chance because, honestly, what was it? It was 37-48, I think, was the final score of that Steelers game. And even though the Browns had the lead, there was always something in everybody's head that was kind of like, they might blow this. If it wasn't for 4 turnovers and one of them being over the top of Big Ben's head for a return touchdown,
the snap,
they don't win that game.
right.
They just don't. And I watched the lead kind of slowly dwindle, and the Browns just kind of struggled. I mean, you text me multiple times saying, hey, dude, they have a shot.
Because they did. Pittsburgh had...
You were listening to Collinsworth too much.
Going in, actually, I didn't have the volume on at all. Going into halftime and out of halftime, Pittsburgh had all the momentum for the better part of a quarter and a half, 2 quarters of that game. They had all the momentum. Cleveland had all of the momentum early on because of Pittsburgh's downfalls, their mistakes, and then Cleveland had the momentum at the end of the game when they needed it.
At the end of the first quarter, they were on pace to score 112 points.
They were 28-0.
Yeah.
Most points scored in a wild card round weekend and first quarter wild card weekend in NFL history. 28.
When the temperature's below 55 degrees and the wind's coming from the northeast.
And one team's wearing
At a 6.5
dark
degree
and one team's wearing white.
angle.
Yeah.
And one quarterback's over the age of 37.5 and one's below the age of 25.
It's crazy. They're breaking records left and right.
And one coach is watching from home and one coach is on the field.
Yeah. First,
I'll summarize all that. Stats suck.
Also, when both the coach at home and on the field were former Viking coaches.
That's true. That's very true.
It's never happened before in the history of the game. First time ever. Believe it or not. I do believe that the Steelers lost that game versus the Browns winning that game.
I agree. Is there any concern for you with Cleveland getting their first win in 17 years, the hangover of playing Kansas City? Are you concerned about the hangover at all?
Minneapolis Miracle.
Right.
it felt like a Super Bowl victory for them. Like watching the celebrations and everything going on. They haven't won a playoff game since 1994. Were you fuckers alive?
Yeah.
Barely.
Yeah.
We
I
were
was
alive
born
in the 94
season.
Or
No,
Or
you
could
guys
have
were
been the
not.
playoffs of
I was the only
94.
one that was alive of us three
we
because
were
I was born in
barely
December of
fucking
'93.
twinkles in our parents' eyes.
Yeah, our moms were halfway through it.
So, and
Our
I'm
moms
not
were
trying
still
to dog
drinking
them.
at that stage.
Smoking and drinking.
Yeah, they're like, we're fine till the 3rd trimester.
There wasn't supposed to be a dog saying that they're celebrated like the Super Bowl. I'd feel like it was a Super Bowl too if my entire life my team had never won a playoff game and they finally broke it.
If I would have stomped Juju's ass like that, I would have celebrated too. Fuck Juju Smith.
That's fair. I mean, you can have those opinions.
Lots of rumors on the internet right now that he might be coming to Minnesota, Gage.
Oh, shut the front
I'm dead
door.
serious. I've
No.
seen it in multiple places.
No. Let's get Deontay, please. I don't want Juju.
We'd have
Pay
like
him $17 million for him
Nah,
to
he
fuck
won't be
over our
coming.
franchise.
He won't be coming to Minnesota.
We don't have the money for him.
No
I'm just playing.
chance.
Really quick here, because
I took notes.
is our summation of the games for the weekend all done,
spin
or
the
we got
wheel
shit to
again?
go through?
Yeah, no, I think the games are done.
Can we spin the wheel one more time, please?
Rams versus Packers. They're on Saturday, and then the Ravens and Bills. At this stage of the game, they're all good games, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know what
I just
mean?
wanted
So-
to talk really quick about 2021 salary cap situations
Ooh, look ahead a little bit.
because it's a little interesting. Is that all you had on your note sheet, or what?
No, I have a
Why do you take notes if we don't use them?
I have playoff games, and there's nothing underneath it because I was just going to roll off the top of my head.
You did a good job.
The rest of my stuff is like coaches and free agents. Essentially, Phillip Rivers, Big Ben, and Drew Brees are all done.
They're all going to retire.
Pouncey's probably going to retire.
Yep, gone.
I think Big Ben wants to come back. I think Rivers might come back, but Brees is for sure done.
Maurice Pouncey or Marcus Pouncey?
The center for the Steelers, whichever one that is.
The Steelers are $21 million over the cap right now, and Big Ben's cap hit is $41 million this season.
The highest cap hit.
What's KC's?
They're still good, man.
Cap situation.
They aren't one of the worst five situated or one of the best five, so I don't know.
That's such
Take a guess who the
bullshit.
worst one is, Gage. I know who it is.
Minnesota?
Nope. They're currently still in the playoffs.
Ooh.
And they are $100 million over the cap.
Holy shit. That's
Imagine spaghetti for your arm.
noodle arm?
I want to start against this too.
What the? Yeah, that's a wicked...
Star, which team is going into 2021 in the worst cap situation in the NFL?
I believe that's the New Orleans Saints.
$100 million
How'd you not
over the
get
cap.
noodle
Noodle
arm?
arm?
Drew Brees noodle arm, bro. $100
crazy.
million over the cap. Over the cap.
Cam Jordan's out?
They're going to be getting rid of
MT's
everybody.
out?
Yeah,
Probably. The only one who probably stays is Kamara.
yeah, because they just paid him last offseason.
And the sad thing is, they don't have, other wideouts. Emmanuel Sanders,
Harris.
They have nothing
Smith,
outside of
Traquan Smith,
Who's the tight end that they drafted?
Troutman.
not- yeah.
Adam Troutman.
He might be something.
He's all right. He's nothing special
He's
though.
no
They have a
Jimmy
lot in their
Grandpa.
offensive line.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they Ramczyk and they got
Armstead,
Armstead. Do they still have Pettis?
I think they do.
Pete.
Yeah, Andreas Pete.
Yep. But they have that Carlos Ruiz who they drafted. He's an interior lineman.
He's not a center ananymore.
Are you sure he's not a shortstop?
You're thinking Jason Bartlett,
No, that's...
2006 Twins.
That was like
Get with the times, bro. You're thinking
No,
back when
it
the
was-
Browns won a playoff game.
Yeah, you're
Denny
thinking-
Hawking, dude.
Punto.
Yeah.
You talking about Denny Hawking?
That's our fucking right winger, dude.
Sorry. Don't go
yeah.
Wookie.
So
We did talk a little bit in texts earlier about the Eagles
we can talk about
and
them.
what's
Roll.
going to happen.
Roll with it.
Head coaches.
I just want to make really quick. The Eagles are one of the bottom five. The Eagles are $82 million over the cap.
Over the cap. Fired their head coach. They said along the ticker that it increases the chance of Wentz staying put. And I said, who has more value in a trade between Wentz and Hurts? It seemed like the crowd went Wentz. At least these two.
This is my question, though, Star. What kind of value do you put on shedding that cap hit? Getting rid of that cap
I'm saying
hit?
in return value.
I think it's
Who
Wentz.
would you rather have?
This is what I
Do
would
you think
say.
someone's giving up a first for him?
I think if I'm Indianapolis, I give up a first for Carson Wentz. I would.
You would?
Yeah.
I just feel like after the last two seasons, it might be hard.
Yeah, I feel like you'd suck off fucking Wentz after a weekend away without a shower.
Wait, what?
It wouldn't
Wait,
matter.
who didn't shower?
We're not the type that sit and
that's
say
important.
Neither party.
We're not the type
He
that
would.
sit and say obvious things, dude. All right? Jesus.
Does he have
You
more
guys
trade
love
value than
Wentz.
This
Kirk
is
Cousins?
called the Butthole Podcast, not Hindsight
Yeah.
2020.
Right now, you think he still does?
I think he has more trade value
Like
than
you're
Kirk Cousins because of his age. You got to remember, the guy played at one MVP season, MVP-type season.
Dog, how many...
He's young. He's still young.
And how much has he got left on his contract? What, 100 mil?
Too much.
Yeah. You only have to pay fucking Kirk 30 mil, or 30 what, 35? Something like
Who's
that?
got higher trade value than Kirk or Carson?
I'd say Kirk.
Brandon.
Did you say Kirk Carson?
Kirk or
or
Carson?
Carson.
Kirk or Carson?
Who the fuck is
Kirk or
that?
Carson.
What's the question?
Kirk or Wentz?
Who's
Which
got more trade value?
Cousins or
We
Wentz?
plug
Trade
them
value?
both into Madden, and it says the scale is this big or this big.
Well, it
Well,
also depends
you're
on
already flawed.
which team you're going after. I would say Wentz has more value.
I think his age and his contract is more friendly than Kirk's for the next 2 years.
I'll
No
look
way.
it up.
Kirk's contract for the next 2 years is brutal, dude. It goes from 30 this year to like 34 next year and then 37 at the end.
He's 28 years old, by the way.
He's in the prime of his career. What does Starr think? Because Starr wouldn't ask this without an opinion on it.
I think that they're both worth around the same.
Hurts and Wentz, or Wentz and Cousins?
Wentz and Cousins. I think Hurts is worth a first.
You think really?
Hurts is. I don't think
Hurts was drafted mid to high second, and he outperformed his draft position with that contract that he has. Still 3 years on a rookie deal, second round rookie deal too. So he's not even getting the millions of dollars a year.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
A team might say that's where if I'm a late first rounder, what I saw of him is enough for me to think
throw it at
that
him.
might be better than risking a late first on someone in this draft.
And with Carson Wentz, I really think his best football is 3-4 years behind him.
If you're a team that's quarterback needy, though, you really wouldn't give up a first for Carson Wentz. You'd rather risk the draft.
Or free agency. Yeah,
Really? Who was free agent quarterbacks available? I'll look it up.
Phillip Rivers.
I'll look it up.
Wentz's contract is averaging $33 million over the next 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, so it's 34 next year, 31, 36, 32.
So I mean,
but let's just
what about
take 1
Kirky's?
second to consider quarterbacks that, or at least one quarterback that everybody said was done. He was never going to come back, and that's Drew Brees. After they didn't want him after his rookie contract was up. They said that he wasn't going to be able to do it. He kept getting injured. His shoulder was going to be an issue. And look at him now. A different team, different place, different system, different coach. Things change, man. I mean, players, think about all the players that will step up and just
totally
be a whole different player on a different team. It happens.
Okay,
It
so
happens a
here's
lot.
based on PFF, which everybody knows is it's equitable in the football community. Would you rather give up a first and pay Carson Wentz that $33-ish million a year for the next how many years?
4.
4 years, or predicted contract for Dak Prescott, free agent, 4 years, $150 million, $38 million per year. Would you rather pay Dak Prescott that, or give up the first for Wentz and pay him $33?
Keep my first and take Dak.
You'd rather sign Dak coming off of a dislocated ankle?
Without a doubt.
I would take her. I would. Man, that's tough.
I'm not a fan of
I would
Wentz.
take
I'm
Wentz.
not a Wentz fan like that. I went to NSU. I guess I didn't get brainwashed as much as you did.
You went there for like 3 weeks.
Exactly. I didn't catch the
didn't-
same waves you guys
He didn't
did.
drink the Kool-Aid with you guys.
It was Tanqueray and whatever Gatorade.
Gatorade.
Cam Newton. Would you rather sign Cam Newton for a 1 year, $20 million deal?
What makes you think he's going to get $20 million?
This is just the prediction on.
Yeah, I guess.
I'd take Wentz over Cam Newton. Kirk Cousins next year, $31 million. 2022, $45 million cap hit.
It's when it gets played with again.
Yeah, you
Or
readjust
just
there.
moving pieces.
What's the penalty? There's got to be no penalty to cut him, I think, is the deal, right?
Dead cap is going to be 10 to cut him.
So it drops a shitload after that.
Dead cap to cut him this year, this upcoming is 41.
20, yeah, 40. Yeah, because you owe so much on next year's contract and this one.
And it's fully
Exactly.
guaranteed.
So, yeah, I really don't see Kirk. I mean, you could sign Cam Newton for the $20 million and cut Kirk next year and still have less of a cap hit as Carson Wentz at 33, 34.
And get picked like
And
7?
keep your first round pick. Yeah, I mean,
Pick
What
6?
is Garoppolo's current contract status? Because the rumor is in the NFL the Niners might look to move off Garoppolo if the right deal came up.
I know one team that would take him. Fan base that loves him.
New England?
Patriots.
That's the rumor is he might
Swing
go
him
back
back?
to the Patriots on a.
We haven't even. There's just so much going on. We didn't even talk about Deshaun Watson.
oh, Watson. I not the biggest fan of Watson.
So
but
here's
I
the
like him in
current
Minnesota.
status that I read up on. Jim Caldwell,
More
is
than Wentz.
the new rumored head coach in Houston. Caldwell. The reason being he's kind of that super even flow. They feel like he could kind of stem the fractured relationship right now between Watson and ownership. Caldwell could kind of be that calming force.
Does he got like a salt and peppery beard?
Why do they
He was the
not
coach for the Lions.
not have any interest in Bieniemy?
The rumor is right now Bieniemy's going to stay in Kansas City. He doesn't want to take any of these
But
jobs.
they're the only ones that didn't interview him. Every other
That is
team
true,
with a
too.
vacancy interviewed him.
That is true.
So
And
even if he stays,
Deshaun
like-
Watson wants him.
Does he?
Yeah.
He's been openly campaigning for him?
Yeah.
Okay, so then what about the rumor of Miami flipping? Tua goes to Houston, Deshaun goes to Miami. Plus, I think Miami would have to throw in a few other things too. Definitely not pick 3, though.
but definitely probably
Pick 25 or whatever.
25. Yeah, not it's not 25. It's like
17
17 or something. Yeah,
So would you give up Tua and pick 18 for Deshaun Watson if you're Miami? I would.
If I'm Miami, I would. If I am...
If you're Houston, you might
Texans?
not have a choice.
Is Fitzmagic a free agent this offseason?
I feel like he is a free agent this offseason.
That dude deserves more money than Cam Newton.
Yeah, I'd give him 20 before Cam any day of the week.
That's fair. I was just going down a list.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yep.
I'd throw $20 on him, too.
$20 on him.
Honestly, for Minnesota, I don't think our quarterback is in the league yet. I want a rookie that's a stud.
For the future. I think Kirk is starting next year.
How about this
Magic.
quarterback from Alabama, Mac Jones?
I'd
Never
take him
heard
in
of
the
her,
second.
Never heard of her.
I'd try it. I'd try anything.
Let's
twice.
go!
I would try anything twice. Gage goes.
Oh, I know.
I
We're
like-
college roommates for 3 weeks.
For the way our team's built, obviously a Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence is
Mobility.
out of the question.
You need
But
it.
a Zach Wilson or a Trey Lance is kind of attractive.
Would you go for that?
And that's why I like Jalen Hurts, even for us.
I like
If you're
Trey
the Vikes,
Lance,
would you
but
give
I
your
don't
first
like
up for
Carson
Jalen
Wentz.
Hurts?
How many championships
I don't know
has
if
that
I-
motherfucker won?
I'd try to trade down a little bit,
3?
get some other values. 14 seems kind of high.
Maybe trade from
Yeah.
14
If I were a playoff team that lost and needed a quarterback, I
Washington?
might consider one of those. Oh, I heard someone else. I heard Cam to Washington.
And Haskins just got cut. I would take Haskins before Cam.
You got to remember, though, Hurts to Washington's not going to happen. It's in division. But if you're Washington, would you give up your first for Jalen Hurts?
No.
Okay.
I
Who else is even in the playoffs that's quarterback needy? Indianapolis?
Indy.
Indy's not really built like that, though. Indy's kind of built for a big
Game manager.
arm quarterback that can hand the ball off.
They had Fitzpatrick as their quarterback. Did they win that game?
Ooh. No.
No.
I don't think Fitzpatrick does better than what Rivers did.
Rivers played the best
Fitzpatrick does have the magic in him, though,
to get that
that Rivers doesn't.
Hail Mary bomb.
Trey Lance only had 2 national championships.
Only had to.
Was he wasn't a starter for both full seasons either, I don't think.
I don't know that.
I think he only has one starting season under his belt, a full season.
that might be true.
He is fast as fuck. And he's still,
Yeah, I
you
don't
can
know.
see his body. He's got some growing up to do yet. Tough to do that in the NFL.
Tell me more about his body.
He's a slender man.
Like a Lamar?
Yeah. Lamar buffed up. He got, 20 pounds on him this year, I'd say?
Guess how many times Carson Wentz has won the FCS championships?
4 times.
5. He's a 5-time FCS national champion.
Thank you. Point proven. His best football is so far behind him.
I
How
don't
many
really
times did
have
he win
much
the
more
high
to
school
say
state
regarding the
championship?
NFL. I'm pretty much at a loss for words here. Gage just pissed
I don't
all over
know.
my
I have
Wheaties.
no idea.
Fuck Carson Wentz, man. He does not deserve any.
That's bullying, guys. Calm down.
We're going to get fucking pinned again on YouTube. Shut
YouTube's
up,
going
man.
to keep saying we're cyberbullying
Shadow
because
man.
we have opinions on these athletes who are rich and famous and care what the butthole has to say.
YouTube. It's butthole with a D.
I hope that's recording because I forgot to hit record.
It is.
We're covered.
Ooh, that's good. All right. Well, I don't know how long we've been
Ruh-roh.
talking for, but I feel like we're out of topics.
Yeah.
And
Did we pick our winners next week, or we already did
I
that
thought we
as a
rolled through
group?
a
I think-
bracket.
yeah, I think we filled the bracket. We still
Let's
have
The bracket
Recalibrate.
changed. The bracket was
the
not
bracket
accurate.
did change, but we still have
Two of the
It
four.
wasn't bracket.
yeah, we still have our Super Bowl
Our bracket's not
players are
broken
still
yet.
going. Yeah, we can still go. So we obviously lost the Seahawks and we lost the Steelers, who both actually the Seahawks were going to win next round too, but the Steelers were going to lose. Chiefs Packers Super Bowl. Butthole said it first. Go jerk off.
Bye. Check out our website, www.officialbutthole.com. We're on all socials at officialbutthole. Please leave us a rating and review on Apple Music, and we'll see you next time.